Hi guys, my name's Paul, this is Plan Z. Hopefully it finds you very, very well. Now in follow up to the video on EQ the other day, I've re-EQ'd my bank of Vox patches, and this video that I'm talking about I'll link below, where I built a template where I basically have a little EQ shootout zone for myself, so I can kind of figure out what's the best kind of EQ shapes to run with my amps. And what I wanted to do is I've run that EQ shape on my 2 notes cabs, and I now want to convert that patch into a patch where I can shoot out. Let's just do that. Sorry, I'm multitasking really badly. Typical man. Here we go. GT plus two nuts. Ooh la la. Okay, so we've got a low, medium, high gain Vox in here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to organise the cabinets so that we've got a nice easy shootout. Let's put a divide here. Let's take our sub outs, put them in there. Let's get our main outs, put them here. What have we got? Divided 2, is that? Right, so now I'm just going to show you how I'm going to set this up quickly so I can do a quick shootout. So I'm going to go into, I'll go backwards. Assign settings. You've got complicated assigns. In control function, you've got simple assigns. So here, what I want to do is I'm going to come down to where my button number 4 is. I'm going to press in there, and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, where I've got divider controls next to send returns. Look at that, there we go. Number 2, we want channel select, so I'm going to select that. So now I'm just going to remind myself I've done that. I'm going to go back into the assigns and then give the button a colour so I know what I've done. I'm going to make it green to red. So it's green when it's 2 notes. I should use white really, but I use white for reverbs. For delays. Let's get our verbs off. Okay, so this is 2 notes cab M. I'm going to talk to you about the EQ. There's 3 important things I'd like you to take away from this, and then we're going to try getting our cabinets here to work as a GT. Where I've ended up is I've used the tool. I'm still using a traditional looking EQ set here without any funky business, but the important thing I want you to take away from this is cut your lows before your amp, cut your highs after your amp. So there's 2 phases to it. The first phase is cutting, the second phase is boosting, and we boost highs before the amp and we boost lows after the amp. So in phase 1 we cut and we go lows before the amp, highs after the amp, and in phase 2 we're boosting and do the opposite. Okay, so what you'll see here is I've taken out 250 really boomy, cut 6 dB, so I halved it on a tight Q. I've done the same with 315, and I'm doing my low cut here at 125 Hertz. Then here I'm taking 400 Hertz as my low cut, and I'm doing it on a Q of 4. Now in my high gain stereo patch I open that Q to here to 2, but it remains at -6 dB. I don't bump the level when I do that. I leave it alone. I want to take those frequencies out. Remember, GT1000 is a full frequency unit, and we're better off cutting than boosting. Now in here, actually, the next one I did is I am boosting. Now when you do boost, look, this is highs now. This is kind of upper mids. And when you boost, try to boost on a wider Q, but remember, the wider that Q is, the more frequencies you catch in it. So I don't go too wide. I've gone on a Q of 1, but I'm boosting by 6 dB. So that didn't need gain staging, they offset each other, and I'm not boosting or cutting anything in either of the front pages of those 2 EQs. Let's go to after the amp now, and we'll start with the high cut. Now I've tried a technique. I tried it before on GT1000 and it didn't work so well, but I must have been it was before I changed how I route things and understood the unit. It was when I first got it, because I used to do it with my old pod and Zoom units back in the day when I used to run them with analog amps or valve amps. I would do an aggressive cut, usually to about 4 actually, and then boost the highs. But here with GT1000, what I found is I've gone to a cut of 5 when I'm using kind of gains, and about 6.5 on a low gain, so I'm coming really strong with the high cut here. I then take out a couple of funky frequencies in the Vox 4K, tight Q -6, 3.15K, tight Q -6. But then I make the outrageous move of boosting the highs by 7. And it sounds not like I've lost my highs, but more like I've got more amp-like highs. Back pickup. Now we're in a medium gain Vox at the moment to show you how the amp's set up. 70 on the gain, 1 on the sag, 5 on the resonance, 50, what is that? That's 58 on the level. 30 on the bass, 66 on the mids, 64 on the highs, and the presence of 5. Okay, now when the high gain comes in, the mids go up by 1, the bass owned by only 1, and the bass comes down to 20, and the gain goes up to 100, and the level drops by 1. The sag goes up to 7, and then next to that we've got a low gain. Let's get this sag on 0. Gain 70, resonance 5, 66 on the level. Bass at 43 is that, 70 on the mids. Let's pull those mids back. I'm going to pull these highs back as well, probably to about 60. Let's get this presence in. I need to adjust that in the other patch. I thought I'd done that. Might just put the mids back up to about 66. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So let's just save that change that I made there. I need to remember to look at the low gain in the other patch. But for the minute, let's stay focused. Now what we've got going on here is a main out that is set to line out where all the mic levels are off. And we've got the direct mix going through to 2 notes cab M, where I've got a ribbon 121 and a 57 on a Vox Voice 30 with EL 84s. It's called Voice 30. I believe it's licensed to 2 notes from Vox. So it's quite a nice cabinet to use. Now in the GT1000 side, we're going to have to do a little bit of work to get up and running. But to start with, let's just see how this sounds straight off the bat. So let's go. That's not actually a million miles away. What I feel like that. Hang on. Just going to look at something. I just want to go to the output, and now I'm going to go into my sub outs where we've got global EQ, and what I've done in there is I've bumped the overall level, taken 1 off the highs, 1 off the lows, and I've done a cut on a Q of 2 by 1 dB at 2K, and I've done that on my main out to 2 notes as well. But the cut to 2K, I haven't adjusted these levels, sorry, the low, the high, and the overall. That's flat. But I have adjusted the 2K. But on this side where I run the GT cabs, I've taken a bit of extra low out, and I think where I've done that, because what I find is it's a full frequency unit, it's very strong, there's a lot of frequencies, it's loud. When you go to the cabs, it's quite intense. So we might want to add in 125 Hertz. Have I already got it in? Let's open that a bit. What I might do... I lie. Ooh la la. Let's put that back as it was. It just feels a bit more brutal. Around the mid somewhere, could do with softening. But I'm not going to get too distracted with that to start with. What we're going to do first off is take this patch. Let's just save it. And then I've got up in, I'm going to save another version of it. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to just stick it here where I did a little test earlier today. Let's see how we get on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split the cabinets. So we've got exactly the same patch, all the same business going on. I still need to remember to adjust that low gain amp in the other patch. So here we're going to go ribbon 121. So we're going to use the same mics, but we're going to blend it ourselves. So let's take the... When you split the cabs, remember to put the right with the right and the left with the left. Now in the right one, I'm going to go 57. The important thing here is the distance is in the middle. You want that backed off. And let's start out pulling that back to 3. Let's go to the 2 notes. Damn, I'm going to stay with that straight off the bat, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to exchange that patch with the one I built it with. I say built, all we did was change one thing. Patch 5, let's swap that. So this one's, so we're now in amongst where my other Vox patches are. And I feel like if I was to use this patch, I'm just going to go for it. So what we're going to do